Hello, welcome back. This is the final game of the day. We have Berserker versus Stats. Berserker, of course, also known as Iris. Recapping on our previous game, we had Stork versus Zergbong, a very entertaining series there. Stork really, well, to be honest, the first game was very, very close. But Stork did manage to win with some excellent counterattacks. The second game, Zergbong did an excellent Hydraless entry break. I was very impressed with it, to be honest. Nice tech pattern there. And then finally we had Stork with gateways below the ramp. Uncommon build order. And he just went straight for the rush and totally took Zergbong down. I mean, it turned into a game of micro, and yeah, well played. I gotta hand it to him. So our next game, Berserker versus Stats, a Terran versus Protoss. Stats beat the Rock, actually in an upset. I was pretty surprised. On the other hand, Berserker has gotten an easy seed into this tournament, obviously because he is such an accomplished player. Very, very strong Terran player, indeed. Now, yeah, our first game is going to be Coliseum. Excuse me, the first map will be Coliseum. And here are the previous records of the players. By the way, this is the GOMTV Avertech Intel Classic, and we are happy to have you tuned in here. And this is Nick Tasel's plot. Yes, as you can see, he did beat Terror 2-1. Terror, a fairly well-known Zerg player. I know I've seen some of his replays as well. Now, doing a Terran versus Protoss. Now remember, Stats started at the 128 marker, so he's managed to hack his way through all of these players and get this far, which is no small feat. 128 top-level pro gamers put together. And, you know, here we only have 32 remaining. We're almost at the phase where we have only 16 remaining. It's really exciting. I'm really happy to be down here casting these games for you. Well, both players have joined the game, and they are both confirming that they are ready. So I think we're going to get this game going pretty soon here. Now, in a map like Coliseum, much like some of the other maps, we can see a proxy. Not necessarily too common. We do see Terrans sometimes proxy on this because Protoss is so likely to go fast Nexus normally. But it just depends. It's one of those things where, actually, you know, to be honest, we've seen so many proxy gates on this map and proxy barracks, and now players are checking the center before they scout anywhere else. We'll see what happens this game, though. Stay tuned. Here's our Terran player at the bottom right, Berserker, also known as Iris. He actually was nicknamed the Berserker Terran. That's when he decided to change his ID. He liked that name better than Iris. There you can see one of his fans. He's a very aggressive Terran player. Sometimes too aggressive, so aggressive that it hurts him. Stats, on the other hand, we don't know too much about Stats because he is so new. Obviously, we have never really seen one pro gamer dominate for more than a few years. We've had players like Savior, stay on top, and Slayer's Boxer back in the day. But there's always these new players coming up and stealing the throne, taking that crown away from these top players. So you always want to watch carefully and not dismiss these newer players. Obviously, Stats is the underdog, and I think this entire series is going to be very difficult for him. But that doesn't mean that he does not have the potential to be the best. Who knows? We could be looking at, one one of the future best StarCraft players out there. It's hard to say. Competition is so high in StarCraft now, and the scene itself is just so competitive that it's really difficult to say these days. Here's Stats scouting out, and I think he is once again going to check the center of the map for the proxy before he goes for the fast nexus. And since there is no proxy in the middle of the map, he is going to make his nexus now. So we see that he unfortunately did not manage to get into his opponent's base, and he will not have a very good idea of what our Terran player Berserker is up to. He will have to make judgments based off how many Marines he sees made, what are the first units he sees behind the supply depot and barracks. And as you can see, the SCV is going to get out of there. That is one of the Berserker fangirls, because she's sitting on the Berserker side of the stands. This is also a pretty standard fast expo build. There are a few different ways you can fast expo as Protoss against Terran, but getting the second gate is the most common. He might get one Zealot along with the Dragoons. He may just go straight for the Dragoons. So as you can see, also, we're not seeing a lot of Marines, and that's because he can get that wall in off. He wants to get that command center out, the factory out, the tank out as fast as possible. Marines kind of slow that down. Now, Berserker has not actually scouted his opponent just yet. He is scouting, but he has not made it to the top right spot just yet. And it looks as though he may actually, if he does this right, he could manage to pick off the SCV before it can really gather a lot of intelligence. I assume that's siege mode being upgraded. Now he sees the two gates. Berserker may be wise enough to realize that there is in fact a fast nexus. What, did that Dragoon just shoot itself? That's what it looked like. But in fact it just missed. Now, he didn't actually scout the fast nexus directly, but I would assume, judging from the lack of Dragoons there, that he should be aware that there's a fast nexus up and running. Fast Robo Bay now. So again, very standard fast expo build. Now the assimilator is going to complete. You have to get that second gas income pretty quickly if you fast expand, because you just start to get your Robo Bay and your Dragoon range upgraded so quickly, and you're still pumping Dragoons. Second factory out now. Sometimes there are Terrans who will go for a fast drop ship and use vultures with mines, because that is a build that is very strong against fast Nexus. And we also at times see the Protoss go for a mid-game Reaver, so that if the Terran player has not made turrets in time, they will be really hurt, especially due to all that harassment. Another Nexus out here now. So I don't think we're going to see any Reaver harassment yet. Instead, it's going to be massing up units. Note that he will be making a pylon wall over here. We're going to have to see how strong... you know, I don't believe we've seen constant SCV production here by Berserker. I could be incorrect, though, but we may see a timing push later on. No, actually, we might see a late timing push here because he did get that fast armory. He's going for the scanners first. He'll scan and figure out if Reavers are a threat, and if they are, he will go ahead and make turrets. In this case, they're not, so I think his timing push is going to be a little bit stronger because he will not have spent all those minerals on other, you know, on all those turrets, etc. And look at this. He's going to go with another expansion. So it's going to be a really late game timing push. Very nice. Using the 2 Goliaths, he can scan and pick off the Observer. We've seen Flash do this build many a time to defeat Stork. Ah, okay. Fast Stargate, or at least pretty early Stargate. Now, if Terran scans that, he could be in trouble. However, he did spot that there's another command center on the way. So he knows, hey, maybe in this window of time, I can possibly sneak out a few carriers before I get pushed. And, you know, when you start to get a lot of carriers on this map, you can really lose control of the game. And when I say that, I mean the Terran will lose control of the game. However, the fact that Berserker is going for the +1 attack upgrade means that he could counter carriers pretty well anyways. In fact, he may be more than prepared for this. This could all boil down to a matter of execution. We see him getting the add-on, so that and he will also be getting the science facility. He wants to get that science facility so he can get that +2 attack upgrade out of the armory. Excuse me. And I think, well, let's see here. What can he do with these vultures? The pylon wall is already up over here. And now we're looking at the Terran. The Terran's still building up. I think we can expect to see a push in maybe 3 minutes. Maybe more, though. Until then, we're just going to see our Terran player zip around the map with the vultures. He doesn't want Protoss to expand in that one mineral spot. He just needs to maintain some map control with those vultures. Oh, we're actually seeing 3 starports here. Stargate, excuse me. And here we go with a drop over here in the back of Stats' base. And planting a few mines. He really didn't kill any probes. He may just want to delay that player from actually, we want to just delay Stats from actually mining at this location. And because he may be pushing again later on. You know, transferring probes, you lose a lot of money in the travel time. The whole game is centered around the workers. And, you know, are you mining minerals quickly enough? Are you boosting your economy in an effective way? And he spotted the 3rd Stargate. And is he going to get enough probes? Berserker seems a little bit too focused on planting mines and not actually killing probes. So I don't know how effective these drops have been. Now we do have +1 on the carriers, +1 attack. And he's going for the +2. Now, a lot of Goliaths are being pumped out here. Looks like he's focusing more on Goliaths than tanks right now. The Berserker has to make sure that he's actually dealing damage with these drops and not just handing over units at a discount price. And it looks like he will hold off this harassment. No surprise there, although We did see, what, about 5 kills on that tank, make it 6, and I'm sure the other one had about 3, maybe 4, depending on splash damage. And I think very soon Terran's going to push. I actually thought he was going to push by now, but I guess not. All right, here it comes. He's unsieging. He's moving out. And it's going to be up to how well the Protoss can respond. Is he going to go for the counterattacks? Is he going to use those carriers to defend the base or attack the Terran base? And, you know, one thing is that the Terran army is so big and immobile that it can't be everywhere at once, so Protoss is going to have to attack from multiple angles. Meanwhile, Protoss also desperately trying to get larger. Terran will squeeze out another expansion because he does have most of the map controlled. I would say that Terran's food probably at what, 140? The supply limit, probably at about 140. Then you can see that Stats is very invested in the carriers, has 2 cybernetics cores. And he's going to get that engineering bay. That actually could be pretty big because Terran needs to make turrets to defend. All right, Terran now moving out, heading for the base. Protoss may go for a counterattack on the ground. And it looks like he's going to just say, all right, go for my base, I'm going to go for yours. Unbelievable. Okay, Berserker now attacking this base. Meanwhile, Stats picking up the remaining tanks. Oh my gosh. Both players just killing each other off, but you can see that Berserker's left a few units behind to take out some probes. Meanwhile, the army of Berserker now moving down. Those carriers do have the +2 attack, +1 armor, making them carrier-killing machines. Oh, man. And now, okay, so he's moved into the main, into the heart where the factories are. He's going to have to control that position. A lot of probes being picked off here. If he can maintain position over here, over the factories, I think it would be a win, but look at all of those Terran units. Stats can't afford to lose that many Dragoons. Oh, the armor is taken out. The upgrades being slowed down. Meanwhile, the cybernetics cores of Stats upgrading at a rapid rate. Note, this build actually counters Berserker's build pretty well, since the carriers now have +2 attack and +1 armor. Stats knows his build orders pretty well here. I'm surprised Stats didn't go for a command center assassination at any point in time here. But now with the Dragoons out of the picture, he can use the hold position micro and just pick off whatever's left as far as interceptors coming out. Now Berserker counterattacking once again with the remainder of his tanks. He knows he doesn't need the tanks there because all the Dragoons are gone. And Iris's main, Berserker's main. But the carriers are growing in numbers. And the more carriers he gets, the harder it will be for him to stay in this. Carriers now taking out all of the tanks. He needs those Goliaths over there to catch up. Stats definitely down on the SCV count. Meanwhile, Berserker down on the probe count. And when I said stats down on the SCV count, I meant probes. I was just testing you. I hope you passed the test. Okay, here's another Vulture that is taking out... at this late time, okay, look, Stats cannot afford to lose any more probes. He cannot, I mean, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look, he cannot really afford to utilize his expansions he has. The expansions are only as useful as they are when probes are mining from them. And as you can see, well, actually, will he be able to pick off these interceptors? They are pretty upgraded. The carriers are very upgraded. And it looks like he may be able to get the carrier! Well done there. And, gosh, it's going to come down right now to whether or not Berserker can hold off these carriers. I'm really surprised, though, that Berserker has not found the hidden expansion at the top left. I mean, his opponent has to be making these interceptors from somewhere. Here comes the command center assassination. Berserker rushes in here to try to hold it off. Berserker going to back out, try to bait Stats into coming in once again. And it does appear as though the carriers have been held off for now. You can see Stats kind of edging out there. But you can see at the same time, though, that Berserker is very good at making the vultures. The carriers cannot be everywhere at once. Taking out so many probes. All the probes there will be killed. And he's going to try to sneak in there. Wow, okay, that's a lot of carriers. And the Goliaths were not organized very well. Oh, man. Look at that. I think Stats may win on the carriers alone. He has to hold off these carriers. It doesn't matter if Stats has no probes. If he can just pick off every, or at least get to the factories, assassinate the command centers. Oh my gosh. This is intense. I think Berserker could very well lose this. This command center is going to be taken out. Where are the probes? That expansion may be mined out at the far top left for Stats. Unbelievable. Now taking out more and more Goliaths. One carrier very low. He takes out one carrier, but he's going to have to do better than that. Another carrier incredibly low on HP. Gets the drop ship. Now attacking these SCVs. And, you know, he does have the expansion at the bottom left. It's going to be a matter of whether or not Stats can get to that now. We can see Stats starting to run out of money, having to remake so many interceptors and not really having a big income. Oh, man, this is tough. It's really tough to say who's going to win this. Neck and neck are these two giants right now. Now, Stats has not found the expansion yet. His fleet of carriers getting pretty close to it, though. He may be searching for those for that expansion now, suspecting that something is not quite right now with how many Goliaths he's seen. And it's been spotted. Unbelievable. He is going to have to, nope, did not manage to save it in time. Berserker has no income other than long-distance mining. Talk about an intense game. He's going to have to use the rest of his Goliaths to somehow hold off these carriers. And as you can see, Berserker is just going to keep retreating to locations that the Goliaths can't quite get to. Then when the Goliaths turn around and engage, he's already back over the high ground again. Stats is going to win this game. There's no question about that right now. All he has to do is pick off the rest of these Goliaths, and Stats cannot be stopped. By the way, there are a lot of Berserker fans down here today, and you can see how upset they look. There it is. Good game. Well played, Stats. Defeating Berserker, also known as Iris. I gotta hand it to him. He definitely played very well. Talk about an exciting series here. Unbelievable. And Berserker knows he is behind right now. He is going to have to recover. The pressure is on. We already saw Cal get eliminated. Kronro get eliminated. Could we see Berserker, also known as Iris, get eliminated as well? We will find out soon enough at the GOMTV Avertech Intel Classic. The #1 tournament in Korea, the largest tournament, in fact, and one of the largest prize pool. So I think Stats has surprised everybody. Although, at the stage we're at in the tournament now, I'm getting pretty used to being surprised. We've had so many insane games. We're going to start now. The pressure is on. Berserker cannot afford to be a loser in this game. And Stats knows he's ahead. I think this is going to be an exciting match, and I'm curious as to how both players will play this out. Oh, by the way, I meant to say, I had no idea how many people are actually going to end up adding me on Facebook after I pointed out that there was a person from Facebook down here. Unbelievable, man. Oh my God, I am getting so many messages. I can't even respond to all of them. I'm sorry to say. I'm actually curious if you guys should try adding me on MySpace. I want to see which one I get more hits on. MySpace.com/tasteless9. But more importantly, back to this game. Two very interesting players. Stats, a lot better than we really expected. He already beat The Rock. We kind of have another Gonzi, character here where, Gonzi already eliminated Much. We have Stats already eliminating The Rock. Gonzi now taking out Quanro. Could Stats possibly take out Berserker? Very interesting. Pretty standard opening so far. No all-in rushes just yet. Here's the first barracks. Stats really teaching us how to counter that fast +1 armory build. He just gets the double cybernetics core. By the time the Goliaths have +2 attack and +1 armor, the other race, the Protoss, already has +2 attack and +1 armor for the carriers. Making those upgrades on the Goliaths not so useful. And now we're going to see the second depot. Berserker may make about 4 to 6 Marines, put them at his ramp after he kills off the scouting probe. Now, because Stats is so far away from Berserker, well, they're both far away from each other, we may not see any rushing at all in this game. It may be a very econ-oriented game. Stats is going to leave a little bit earlier than you expect. And as you can see, he leaves the probe outside of his opponent's base. He uses that as a spotter. So pretty standard gameplay so far here. He's going to take out the scouting SCV, and now both players are free to tech undetected. Berserker going to send his Marines out because he already knows that that probe is probably out there. As you can see, both players here really have a very strong grasp on the metagame of StarCraft. The best game ever made. Although, by the way, Metal Gear Solid 4 coming out, I am pretty pumped. Just talking about some of the best games ever made. I am going to be a hermit while that game comes out. Here comes the Nexus. So, Stats going for a pretty safe, fast expand build. Getting 2 Dragoons out, then getting the Nexus out, and taking 2 DTs. And as you can see, it looks like Berserker is going to be doing a pretty fast expand too. I'm curious what type of tech we're going to see here with the Protoss. I mean, obviously we see a Citadel, which is an indicator of Dark Templars. I'm wondering if he's going to get a Robo-Bait too, maybe do a DT drop. Oh, okay, yes. He will be doing just that. So, I kind of like Stats' build. I've got a little crush on Stats' build because, first of all, it is a safe, fast expand build with the potential to have devastating harassment on the Terran. Berserker's build order, a little bit more standard, a little bit more by the book. And as we can see, pretty normal. He's going to get the second factory now. Get a few turrets. This is not the same build that Berserker did before. He did not get the Academy. Instead, he's going to go for a standard opening, one where he gets the engineering bay, gets a turret here or there, which actually may work very, very well against the build, which we're going to see Stats do. Because the Terran does not have the scanner yet, all Stats has to do is pick off the turret in the desired location and maintain control. Oh, but we're going to see scanner now. So he'll have 2 scans to try to pick off these extra troops, these extra DTs that'll come over here. And sorry, I got distracted. We had a girl try to sneak backstage over here, and security had to stop her. What am I talking about? Okay, all right, so the shuttle's on the move now. And we're going to see in a moment here if Stats' DT drop can be effective. Now remember, he does not want to lose under any circumstance the shuttle. Because if it doesn't prove to be effective... Oh! If it does not prove to be effective, he can still use the shuttle to hold off a push. I mean, if you have 4 Dark Templar in there, Terran only has 2 scanners. You can drop and pick up and drop and pick up, forcing the Terran to waste scans until eventually they're scanless. And from there, it's pretty easy. I mean, the Terran can't push any further if they don't have detection, and they're only using mines. That's a pretty difficult way to hold off something like that. But look at this. Berserker gonna push anyways. Pushing out now. I don't know if Stats is ready for this. Berserker knows. There he goes. He did it once. He picked it up. He's gonna wait for the scan to die, and then he's gonna go in again. The Panda Bear guy watching it all happen. And the shuttle not too high on hit points. Well, excuse me, the shields are gone. It's pretty much got all of its HP. All right, here he goes now. He scans again. He wants to be ready for those DTs. Here comes the DTs now. He scans once again. The Marines may take out the shuttle. And oh my God! A bunker will be set up. The shuttle is gone. The DTs are gone. And soon Stats expansion will join the gone group. But more DTs are coming up here. He doesn't have a scan on that just yet. And oh my... Oh! The mine blew up all the tanks and Berserker. Unbelievable. That was not supposed to happen. It looked like Stats was going to lose there. Wow. Did that just happen? This is a bad dream right now for the Terran. Everything is going wrong. Protoss now taking Arbiters soon. Terran has not even taken his Mineral Expo yet. Has lost all of his tanks. Berserker he's in awful condition. To put it simply, his chances of winning are slim. If Terran pushes you early on and you take out that push, or if you're Terran, if you lose that push, the odds of Terran winning are so minimal because they have so little tanks, and the tanks are the backbone of that, and there's really no way. I mean, it's going to be tough. We'll see how he does on the second push. But until then, you know, Stats is going to have free reign over the map. Unbelievable game here so far. Now it looks as though Berserker is actually getting ready for another push-up here. As I said before, Berserker, a very aggressive player. Sometimes that aggression works against him. Wow. All right, so now he's going to get the armories out much later than last time. The Protoss may be ahead in upgrades this game. Yet another thing that will not work well for Berserker. Protoss going for the other expansion here very soon. Berserker knows this, trying to delay him, although it looks as though Stats will manage to ninja that probe in there. Meanwhile, he's going to wall himself in with pylons, or pylon in some other building, to prevent any harassment. And Stats knows how good the position he's in is. He just knows he cannot afford to make a mistake against a player who is as good as Berserker. And I think we may see a storm drop here. No, oh, no, he might just be going for the island. As you can see, though, Berserker doesn't have any dropships just yet. In fact, I don't even know if he has a star port, so this is a pretty smart move here by Stats. He knows that he can take another expansion pretty easily, not have to worry so much about getting a massive amount of cannons there just yet. There's the Panda Bear guy. And, okay, all right. It is happening. Here's the second push. Stats has to hold this one off too, and I gotta say, this push is pretty sizable. Arbiters are out. If he has stasis, he can freeze the cluster of tanks and take this out. Look at those vultures flipping out. Look like they have Tourette's or something. Okay, it's all up to this moment. Can Berserker make a comeback? It's happened before. Zealots don't have legs. He needs a Zealot leg upgrade before he can really engage that, and he does not have that yet. I question if Stats maybe forgot entirely, or if it's just on the way and it's not finished yet. Well, it looks like Stats is going to lose this expansion. No Zealots with legs. Silly mistake. Although he will... Okay, I see Stats going to take both islands now to try to recover from this. I'm surprised they haven't seen any Zealot bombing. You can take a Zealot, drop it right next to the tank. The splash damage will hurt the tanks around it, wherever you drop the Zealot. But Stats seems to be a pretty wise player. Right now, he does not want to take any chances. Legs are done. He looks like he's gathering together. We might see an attack. +1 attack for the Terran. A lot of factories here. And Berserker is now going to pull out, deciding that it might not be safe to stay around there with Arbiters out. Well, unfortunately, though, for Berserker, if Stats makes a ton of cannons on those islands, it may be inaccessible to him. Here comes the attack now. Stasis. One. Here comes another one. Right about now. And there may be too many Protoss units here. No. He only had one stasis, so Terran may, in fact, win this battle. I'm surprised. I thought, no, the second stasis was just too late. Stats with a totally botched attack. He could have actually won that had he stasis that second group a little bit quicker there. Siege tanks deal damage so fast, so very quickly. He does have enough units over here to possibly hold off another push. Bear in mind that the only location that Berserker can push is the main, or at least head towards the main, because Stats is taking both of the islands. And look at this. We see some mines getting cleaned up here. Really exciting game here. Stats may still have a little bit of an advantage if he can get enough probes to that island. Meanwhile, Berserker has not yet expanded again. And it looks as though Stats going to run away. He wants to be able to get a good surround for when this push towards his main happens. Oh, mine dealing a lot of damage there. Is Stats attacking? And a stasis, a critical game-changing stasis here. If he gets a few zealots, which he should be able to do before the attack comes out, he can get there. If Berserker doesn't reinforce this in time, he needs to reinforce those tanks. Why is he not reinforcing those tanks? Stats really could put more probes on that island as well. And it looks as though these tanks may be taken out. He's going to pick off one. Now backing up. He's going to go for the surround on these tanks, which are about to unfreeze. There it is now. Oh, very nice. Berserker. I don't believe he's going to be able to hold off these the Arbiters, Dragoons, and Zealots. He cannot afford to lose any Arbiters, though. The Stasis is what is keeping Stats alive. Stats, change your name to Stasis. Panda Bear guy getting a little bit farther away from Stats' base because he is playing so well. Stats now having the free time to drop more probes over here in the expansion. Here comes a vessel. He may have an EMP in there. And we might see another stasis. There's another one. An incredibly good stasis. We may even have seen another stasis here in a little bit. But no, he loses the Arbiter. Even though he lost the Arbiter, it looks like he's still going to have enough units to hold this off. Stats has to keep holding off this push, and he should win the game. Nice defensive matrix. Pretty sexy there by Berserker. Oh. Hidden expansion over here at the top right. Expect that to be possibly recalled. I think once Stats holds off the rest of this attack, he will switch his playing style and start using recalls. Those probes should be mining minerals. Stats now expanding yet again. Talk about an epic last game here. If it does indeed turn out to be the last game. Protoss slowly moving to the top right. If he can get that expansion, it would be huge. More and more Arbiters on the way. Judging from how many assimilators Stats has acquired, I think we could expect to see even more Arbiters up here. It looks like Berserker trying to bait his opponent out of going to the expansion. Stats going to send a few zealots in here to absorb some mines so that he can take the rest of his army in there. The Berserker fans are like literally standing up as they watch this. It is so tense, the atmosphere in here. All right, Berserker attempting to drive Stats back. It looks like it's working. Stats going to have to avoid those science vessels. He does not want to get EMP'd. Oh, EMP's the army instead. Although it would have been better used on the Arbiter. But oh my gosh, he's taken out so many SCVs. This is really hurting Berserker. But can Berserker get this expansion over here? We may see another stasis. Oh, a really crappy stasis. And in fact, Berserker may have too many units. No, a lot of Dragoons over here, but tanks reinforcing. Can he get the reinforcements there in time? Those Dragoons may not have easy access to these tanks. More tanks in the back, now sieging up. And I think Stats is, in fact, going to have to back up, or at least until these Zealots get there. +2, +1. I'm surprised he's not taking that assimilator. Or at least built an assimilator there. Here's another attack. And it looks like it's going to be very effective. Berserker attempting to edge his way down there. And can Berserker has in fact won this battle. He is getting closer and closer and closer to the main of Stats. Stats has to hold this push off. He has to stop these tanks from coming over here. And he's getting less and less and less units out here to hold this attack off. Oh my God, is Berserker going to win this game? This will be huge if Berserker wins this. Berserker only has one expansion at the far left, although it looks like he is expanding again at the bottom left. Nice stasis here. He's going to try to move it. He cannot afford. Oh, he loses the Arbiter. If Stats can micro this well enough, he could come out again with an advantage. Putting the Dragoons on the high ground, drawing some tank fire. Now moving in here. He's got to get to where those tanks are, though. He's got to surround the tanks. He's standing around the vultures for too long. But some Zealots are coming down. No. It looks like he may have to back off, though. Unfortunately, he cannot keep that Arbiter alive. Unfortunately, Stats may be in trouble when those units unfreeze. Berserker has now claimed territory over the low ground here. And it looks as though Stats might be able to hold this up and draw some mines into there. No, impossible. Stats should really just back off. And oh my God! Stats has won that game. I did not see that one coming. Berserker, very, very talented gamer. Talk about a crazy game. I cannot believe that Berserker won that game. I thought we were going to see it end, but unbelievable. We are here and we are entering Game 3 in what looked, well, just judging from that previous game, it really did look as though Berserker was going to lose. It looked like he was losing the entire time, and unbelievable, he manages to come back and win in what was an uphill battle ever since he lost the first push. This is Nick Tasel's plot, broadcasting to you from Seoul, Korea, at the Avertech Intel Classic. It's a real pleasure to be down here, and I hope you're enjoying the games as much as I enjoy casting them. Another Terran versus Protoss. I am just stunned at that last game. Me and the other commentators were just talking about it. We just could not believe that Stats actually lost that game. He had it won, but he just wasn't able to keep up with Berserker's incredible macro. Very, very entertaining games. The final map is going to be on Othello. Both players are ready. Let's get this going. It's now or never. The last game of the tournament. One player will win and one player will lose. Here's Stats at the bottom left corner. And here's Berserker at the top right corner. So yeah, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Feel free to add me on MySpace if you like. MySpace.com/tasteless9. I'm really interested in seeing what build orders these players pick. Hey, this stuff is copyrighted. All right. Both guys, Berserker and Stats. You can see Berserker calming himself down a little bit, taking a deep breath. Clearly, Stats is very, very, very good. I mean, he played very well the first game, and Stats did play most of the second game out very well, but I just don't think he got enough probes to that island in time to actually utilize it. He also did not get the second assimilator, so he could not get more arbiters. And he was also, finally, a little bit sloppy with the arbiters. He was just throwing them away. I mean, if you can get like 6 arbiters, which he could have had he not kept losing them, you can stasis the crap out of anything and be recalling into their main or at expansions. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And he just wasn't quite controlling those arbiters well enough, I think. So, standard builds right now for both players. Fast cybernetics core. The most common build, Protoss versus Terran. And of course, our Terran player, Berserker, going with a very standard opening. Now, as far as how this game's going to be played out, this is a macro map. Oh, we see one Zealot and a Pro blocking the entrance. I think Stats is up to something. Blocking your entrance like that normally means that you do not want them to get into your main. Like, you're willing to take a probe off of the minerals mining just to make sure that there's no way that the SCV will be able to squeeze in there. However, we don't see any hidden tech. Maybe he's going to go for very fast Reavers, maybe very fast Dark Templar. We'll see also if he loses this probe when he goes to check. Probe backs off. Now, is he going to hide a tech or something? He may have simply just not wanted his opponent to get in his base, so that he could assume, all right, so we're seeing Robo Bay first. He may have just done that, though, to see if he could keep his opponent out and maybe make it look like he was actually hiding a tech. I mean, there's a lot of, you can fake an opening and make it look like you're actually rushing for something that you're not. And it looks like he was going to go for one of those moments. But the SCV never got there in time. The SCV is only just now arriving. As we saw previously, Berserker sends his Marines out to hunt down that SCV. Stats will make a similar maneuver.
아직 노출도가 굉장히 낮은 신예가 다양한 전략을 들고 나온다는 것은 굉장히 긍정적으로 볼 수 있는 거죠. 그렇죠. 상대방 입장에서는 크게 이제 부담이 되는.
Well, fast robo-bay like this can mean a couple things. Well, three things mainly. It can mean we're going to see very fast Reaver. We will probably see observers no matter what, but we may also see a shuttle and a few zealots in there to stop a fast expanding Terran. It's called the Bulldog Rush. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Maybe some guy who owned a bulldog named the strategy after his pet. I have no idea. You would have thought we could have, pulled out a more scary animal than the bulldog to describe a rush, which can be very devastating to fast expanding Terrans. We're going to see Nexus instead. So we're going to see Dragoons and observers and the Nexus. Maybe a Reaver drop, not sure. Protoss would have added the second gateway before the Nexus if we were going to see a Bulldog rush. Well, I'm guessing Reavers now because we already see the shuttle out. Reaver it is. Although fast Reaver can also be pretty devastating to the Terran. We do see Berserker planting a few mines in the back here just in case the Reaver... Now, he doesn't know the Reaver's coming. He could be guessing DT drop too, but either way, he feels like he needs to put some mines in the back of his base. One Vulture going to sneak in here, and he will see the fast Reaver tech. Yes, he has. Berserker knows. 2 probes killed as well. Well, I think we can expect to see Berserker making a lot of turrets. Maybe even planting a few more mines around his base. And Stats better not get any closer because those tanks will be in range. Well, Berserker's in great shape now because he can defend knowing that it's a Reaver drop coming at him. You many times put your structures, your turrets, everything in different locations if you could guess Reaver or a DT drop. For instance, if a Terran sees Reaver drop coming, he might not put his depots right next to each other since the Reaver does splash damage. He wouldn't want to get his depots picked off. He also might put his turrets farther out on the rim of his base rather than right next to the command center. So we can see that our Terran player Berserker is going to be teching to the same thing again, fast. Okay, here's the Reaver. Oh, totally denied. It did not even get the SCV, which even that would have been minimal damage. But wow. Yet, anyways, those stats is going to expand again. He'll probably use the Reaver to defend. Whoa! He's got to be very careful. If you lose the shuttle and the Reaver, Terran is going to own you. It looks like Berserker's attempt to harass, though, was ineffective. We're going to need to see some more gateways here pretty soon from the Protoss. He's massing up a little bit more. We may see the Terran edge out and expand again here. It's not uncommon when they do that fast armory build to get their next expansion a little bit quicker than normal. But instead, it looks like he's actually going to push. just straight out push, probably knowing that, nope, I'm just kidding, LOL, JK. It was like I said before, he is going to expand. All right. So, as we can see, more and more factories up here. After he can get a few groups of tanks and vultures out of those new factories, he will have a lot of pushing presence on the map. Now, we haven't seen our Protoss player. Okay, well, he's going to expand again. That's a solution. I was going to ask whether or not he should go carriers. I think +1 should be finishing soon, too. We'll know when we see Berserker make it. Okay, and if +1 is about to finish. Either that or it already has finished, and he hasn't started +2. Yep, +1's done. By the way, if you are at all interested in playing and competing in StarCraft with Koreans and non-Koreans, try www.ieccup.net. The largest StarCraft ladder in the world. They can get you started on there. And look at this. Here comes a double drop. Double trouble. Oh! That poor Reaver. Bad beat for him. Nice control, though, here by Stats. And he can really juggle that Reaver all day, considering he does have 2 shuttles. It's going to be up to how much damage this Reaver can do. Oh my god, a lot of damage. Stats, clearly a very strong player. Really able to hold his own against somebody as accomplished as Berserker. And now we're going to see a drop coming from Berserker into the undefended main of Stats. This seems to be the kind of drop Berserker likes to do. Berserker's going to have to get back there in time. Once again, Berserker always planting mines before picking off probes. That's Berserker's style for you. Meanwhile, Stat's going to do yet another drop over here with the double shuttles. I don't know how effective this was for Berserker. Oh, here's another drop. Oh! Stats. Wow. You just saw what happened, but my god, he is losing so many Reavers here. You really can't afford to lose that many Reavers. It means your main army is going to be so small. Reavers are so expensive. It's like when you crash in your dad's car or something. I mean, it's just, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, man. Both players doing a lot of drop harassment. Terran is going to be pushing pretty soon, I believe, here. Now, he got a lot, and I mean a lot of probes with that tank drop due to the splash damage. We do see a Templar archive, so he may just be going for some high Templar. And then maybe later on some Arbiters. Looks like Stats is ready for a counter drop over here. Depends on the contents of the dropship. 4 Vultures. Gonna be up to Berserker's micro now. No, they're gonna peace out over here to the other expansion. Oh, getting the Templar. Oh, getting those Templar is a pretty big deal because, frankly, Stats is going to need those Templar to stop Berserker's push. Here comes Stats once again with double shuttle. Oh. This could be bad. Oh! Oh, the two Reavers do manage to get in there, but somehow God hates Reavers today because there is no success whatsoever with that drop. All the SCVs got out. Reavers shooting behind themselves. This is madness. And as you can see, Berserker pushing now in what may be a game-winning procedure. Oh, he is going berserk. Berserker basically just sacking his main. He says, all right, whatever, I'm just going to kill this. And look at this, Stats doing a counterattack over here. And you know what? Stats is going to get a lot of factories. That will really slow Berserker down. Berserker needs to go to this expansion over here, either the one that's close to Stats' main or the opposing expansion at the top left, or middle left, I should say. EMP thrown down. Dragoons going into mines. And uh-oh, get ready for explosions. Wow. All right, now it's going to be a matter of time. Can Berserker push his opponent fast enough? Or will Stats be able to recover his army since Berserker didn't lose those factories? Oh, not good. Poor Stats. All right, it looks like he's already remade at least one of those factories. And I think we're going to see this Nexus get raised here pretty soon. And here comes Stats' attempt to save that expansion. No cigar. No smoking at all. Check this out. Good game! Well played. Berserker did it. He managed to beat Stats. You can see he's happy about that. So are the Berserker fangirls in the audience. And I am pretty pleased with that whole series. There's Stats probably going over that game. What did he do wrong? What did his Reavers do wrong? Well, talk about a great series, though. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It was a lot of fun today. And I hope you guys tune in again and keep watching because we're getting farther along in this tournament every week. And the games are just getting better and better. The quality of gamers is just getting better and better. So please check it out. Tell all your friends to check out the Avertech Intel Classic. GOMTV.net. Pretty easy to remember. So, yeah, definitely check that out. I think that last game was pretty interesting, but there were just too many things that went wrong for Stats, especially early on. So, thank you. Oh, I thought we were closing out. That was close. They always trick me, those Korean commentators. Here are the results. All the games here very close, except for the one that I said was going to be the closest. Cal, also known as Godzilla, against Backo. Backo dominated. But man, the other three games we saw today, 3 matches we saw today, really good games. Check them out. Tell everybody else to check them out. We would like to thank our sponsors at Intel for making this possible. Without baller companies like you guys, we would not have the funding to do such excellent events. Go buy something from Intel. Go buy the Avertech Intel PC or something else. Show your support. We're going to be closing this out here pretty soon. But as always, we appreciate you tuning in. Whether you are, in the United States, staying up in the middle of the night, well, I guess the early morning, to watch these games, or, if you're in Korea and you're trying to learn English, you just want to watch these, we appreciate you watching that as well. Or if you just kind of watch the VODs, the recorded games. I'm talking to GOM to get some kind of way so that spoilers cannot be revealed. We'll get something figured out. And my website is still under construction. Sorry, I've been really busy with some stuff, but that'll be up eventually. It may have to wait until the end of this tournament, though. But it'll come eventually. It will come. It is in the prophecy. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to sign out. Take care.